Okay, that was new. I'm not quite sure how I feel about this, to be honest, but as a big Dragon Ball fan, I do appreciate the crossover. Raw was unpredictable, I'll give you that. I expected a boring 3-hour long show, I expected to see Nia Jax, I knew Triple H was coming, I expected to almost fall asleep 5 times. That happened. But a Kamehameha, I would say it was rather unpredictable. I hope the Great One sees this and uses this in his next video, one can only hope. Well, I'm not the one to blame here. Enjoy. Welcome back to the channel. WWE has a very weird habit. We were supposed to get Randy Orton vs Drew McIntyre. Not very exciting, already seen it 5,000 times, and 2 probably. But when WWE are pushed into a corner when they can't do something that they promised, they give us something way much better. Dude, we got Randy Orton vs Triple H on a random episode of Monday Night Raw just because we didn't get Drew McIntyre vs Randy Orton, a match we didn't want to see in the first place. That's crazy. By the way, yes, Drew McIntyre is sick. He has no symptoms, so I guess it's not as serious as we were worried about, so that's great. I hope he's gonna get better soon. And they actually confirmed that we will get Goldberg versus Drew McIntyre. I mean, there's like half a month left until the Royal Rumble match, so I kinda get it. I actually saw people on Twitter saying, well, Drew McIntyre is sick, but at least we won't have to watch this. Are you serious? Are you for real? There are some crazy motherfuckers in this community. Somewhere Goldberg is still thinking, McIntyre? I think we're still disrespecting legends! Like, I still can't believe they went with this promo last week. McIntyre, you must hate children too! You must hate pregnant women! Like, that's how it sounded. You must hate the legends. You must hate the legends. I'm not demanding a title shot. He says that while demanding a title shot without asking for a #1 contenders match. Let's talk about Monday Night Raw. The show kicks off with the cerebral assassin, the COO, Triple H. He welcomes everybody to Monday Night Raw, but he got quickly interrupted by Randy Orton. Basically, Randy Orton says that Triple H must be here for a reason, so why don't you just give me that WWE Championship right now? Or at least make Randy Orton number 30 at the Royal Rumble match. And this was actually a very good segment for what it was. I mean, let's be fair, people, the whole plan was Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre. Triple H was probably not supposed to even be here. And whenever Triple H is on the microphone, I know it's a meme that he speaks for way too long. I know it's a meme in the community. But he always makes sense and he makes things look real. I liked when he said that he respects Randy Orton for what he's done, in 2020. Basically, he even respects Randy Orton for burning the Fiend because that's what benefits Randy Orton. What he doesn't understand is Randy Orton doing this, well, stuff like, disrespecting legends like Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels, because it doesn't benefit Randy Orton. Why would he even do that? The answer is Randy Orton is a sick motherfucker. He hears voices in his head. Quick reminder, he actually once handcuffed you and kissed your wife in front of you. Just a little miscommunication, I guess. I think I took it a bit too seriously. Maybe it wasn't a big deal, I guess. Randy Orton challenges Triple H to not necessarily a match, but a fight tonight. Triple H says it doesn't benefit him, so he declines. Until Randy Orton said the same thing he said last year. I guess Stephanie is not here, so you can't retrieve your bowels. You know what, Randy? Bam. So I guess he accepts. Look, you guys know me. You guys know how much I like this kinda crap. But the right one, Triple H is not a young guy. Why would he even face Randy Orton? Why don't you give this opportunity to Andrade? I actually got something like this last week. I mean, it's entertainment. It's just a TV show. I want to see Randy Orton versus Triple H because that's the rivalry I grew up with. And to counter a point that it was pointless, it wasn't. It actually continued Randy Orton's and The Fiend's rivalry, and it was actually pretty. We saw a Kamehameha, dude. I don't care. I love this shit. We got Charlotte Flair versus Lacey Evans next. Ric Flair was watching the match, but he's angry at his daughter because last week she told him to leave. The story here is, Charlotte Flair is not getting along with her father, Ric Flair, and Ric Flair is flirting with Lacey Evans. I guess they're kind of a couple, if that counts. Yum. That's awesome. That's what I want to see on my television. If we will see kissing between Ric Flair and Lacey Evans, Real life sex celebration. Anyway, Ric Flair helps Lacey Evans to win the match, Charlotte is angry, and Ric Flair is getting laid. He's over 70 years old. He's over 70 years old and Ric Flair is still getting laid. Bitches love Ric Flair. And if that's not... Wow, I don't even know what to say. Oh, you go, Rick. You go. We saw Drew McIntyre twice on the show. At first he warns everyone, says that you need to be careful, but he will be back. He has no symptoms, so that's great. When I heard the news that he tested positive, I was like, okay, dude, this sucks. Come on. The WWE champion before the Royal Rumble. That's not even the most important part. I was like, I don't know how serious this is. But it seems like it's not as bad as we thought. He's gonna be back. So that's great. Then we saw him later on the show and he actually accepted the challenge. We will see Goldberg versus Drew McIntyre at the Royal Rumble. And by the way, WWE are hyping up Goldberg. Man, I'm really scared. I'm excited for this match. Because of that reason, I'm scared. And I'm gonna be at the edge of my seat, dude. I love this feeling. I love this risky WWE shit. I know it doesn't make any sense, but that's the only time it kind of feels real to me. Like I'm watching sports, you know? I'm actually rooting for someone because I'm scared the other guy can win. So I'm actually very excited for the match, but I'm so scared because Goldberg can ruin WrestleMania's plans. Again, we might see Goldberg versus Reigns for both titles. No, I don't want to see that. I do want to see the match though. Like, I can't even explain how much I don't give a crap. Like, seriously, dude, this is the worst part of Raw. Like, how can you have Jeff Hardy on your roster and don't have anything for him? Like, at all. Then we saw Keith Lee and Sheamus versus The Miz and John Morrison. This was actually pretty fun. I didn't really care much about the match. It was mostly about the relationship between Sheamus and Keith Lee. So at the end of the match, Sheamus tags in himself and he picks up the W, but Keith Lee doesn't care at this point. Seems like they actually get along right now. This was fun to see. Like, I actually kinda dig this relationship. I know it's not the time to put Keith Lee in a tag team. Sheamus as well, he was just in a tag team with Cesaro. But I wouldn't mind seeing these guys as tag team champions because of this whole, basically Daniel Bryan and Kane relationship, you know? I would love to see something similar between these two. But we'll see what's gonna happen. Then we saw Triple H accepting the challenge, so, you know, I'm excited for this. That was basically today's Raw. We got some mediocre stuff. It wasn't necessarily really bad, but you just keep waiting for that main event. Anyway, then we see Sheamus versus Keith Lee because they don't get along as well again. And that was actually another fun match. Two big guys, 50-50. And after a tough fight, Keith Lee picked the W. And I really loved the ending. So Keith Lee wants to fist bump Sheamus. Sheamus slams his hand away and hugs him. That's a very strong way of showing respect. We got Xavier Woods versus T-Bar. Yeah, that's something I'm very excited about. And T-Bar won the match. Then we saw Bobby Lashley versus Riddle. Riddle got attacked before the match, but it was okay for what it was. We saw blood. Like, that was weird. But Bobby Lashley won the match when Riddle tapped out. That was actually interesting to see, but I'm glad because I really like Bobby Lashley's push. But then Riddle says, maybe I didn't beat Bobby Lashley, but I can beat you, bro, he says to MVP. We got MVP versus Riddle, and by disqualification, Riddle won the match. But after the match, they continue the beating, and this rivalry basically continues. And dude, I'm sure Riddle is winning the United States Championship at the Royal Rumble. I mean, Riddle can be funny, I'll admit, sometimes, but sometimes they overdo it, and instead of him looking kind of goofy in a way, they make him look stupid. And sometimes it's hard to take him seriously. For example, when he's being attacked and he wants to be serious, at that point you can't take him seriously. Drew Gulak wants to be in the Royal Rumble match. No, Drew. Why is AJ in this? He's AJ. So we got AJ Styles versus Drew Gulak, in which, first of all, we saw this shot. That's Bigfoot, man. That's very Bigfoot. That's large human being. That's a very large human being. And AJ Styles won the match. I don't necessarily know what's the point of this, but we saw this a lot on this show. stuff that doesn't need to be on the show, but we have a 3-hour long show. We need to fill in the time. Keith Lee says, you've been there for me, and I want to be here for you as well. But Triple H says, I appreciate the help, but I don't need it. That was pretty wholesome. The history between Triple H and Keith Lee. NXT stuff. NXT. We saw Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax versus Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose. I almost fell asleep if I'm being honest. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler won. And then we saw Randy Orton versus Triple H, if you can call it that. It was Randy Orton's challenge, Legend Killer's challenge. And I actually liked it. It was basically brawl. We see way more blood than I expected to see. It was, for me, it was entertaining. I don't know. Many people take wrestling way too seriously. I understand getting mad at stuff like, you build the Fiend, Goldberg comes in, takes the championship, and what was the point? I understand being mad at these kind of moments. I don't understand being mad at Triple H versus Randy Orton on Monday Night Raw, a show that happens every single damn week, and for the most part, is the same every damn week. Like, seriously, come on. Triple H got a sledgehammer, then we saw the lights going out slowly. Triple H looks at his sledgehammer, and it's burning. Okay, dude, that I popped for that. That was sick. That's some sick shit, man. That was awesome. Then the lights go out. Triple H disappears. We see Alexa Bliss, and we see pain written. I think it was pain written on her hand. And she shoots at that was a Kamehameha. What the hell, dude? That was awesome. I know it's kinda goofy. I understand. But still, it took me by surprise. I was honestly shocked. I was like, holy shit, what the fuck just happened? Awesome. Awesome stuff. So, I guess for the most part, it wasn't a good episode of Raw, but it had its moments. Let me know in the comments below, how did you feel about this episode of Raw? And again, people, I just want to say thank you for your support. Lately, the views are amazing. People really dig the content, and I'm sure I'm like in the top 5, 3, 2, maybe, I don't know, of YouTubers who get the most views on their Raw and SmackDown reviews. That means a lot to me. The point is, there's a lot of support in my videos, and I really, really appreciate that. So thank you very much for watching The Great One. Peace, love, and hugs. It's been a pleasure. McIntyre! I think you're still disrespecting legends!